Hey, 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 Davita Michelle here. I just wanted to hop in and share something with you about my day yesterday and my morning today. This morning I did a devotional and it was titled Please Interrupt Me. And it shared a scenario about a lady who has a newborn and a school age child, and another lady who just basically gets caught up in the busyness and the task of her day. And the lady with the newborn child called the other woman, let's say Lady A, Lady B. Lady A is the woman with the baby, and Lady B is the woman who is busy and has her task and her to do list set out for her day. And then the title of the devotional, as I had previously stated, is Please Interrupt Me. And so Lady A calls Lady B, and she's basically venting her frustrations about how her son went to school, ended up getting dropped off by dad, and he forgot his belt and he forgot his lunch. And she's just venting. And Lady B is sitting at a stop sign on a mission to do her task and whatever she has to do in her day. And as she's listening to Lady A tell her how frustrating it is, and she's trying to catch dad before he, goes to work because he had just dropped the little boy off. And she's just so frustrated. And so Lady B is sitting at a stoplight and she's just wondering, like, are all these tasks I have to do so important that I can't help this person out? So important that I can't allow this person to interrupt my day. And so she says she looks to her left and she sees a store. And she says, well, that store has belts and that store also has food. And so she's still in the story. She's still contemplating, do I allow this to interrupt my day so that I can help someone and make their day better? Or do I stay laser focused on my task and the busyness of everything that I have going on? And so in short, she ended up going to help this lady out and buying the belt and getting the young boy some food for his lunch and taking it to the school. Um, and like I said, the title of the devotional was Please Interrupt Me. And what she found in the end result was that it was okay for her day, for her task, for the busyness of her day to be interrupted to help and impact, help and impact the life of someone else who needed it. It wasn't something that just obliterated her day, but it was an opportunity for her to have an impact on someone's life. And so I shared that so that I can go and share my experience in the grocery store last night. I had to get some items from the deli for my brother. And while waiting, well, when I walked up, there were two men being taken care of. There was, uh, of the two, there was an older gentleman, I guess maybe 60, 65. He could have really been older than that. And then on the opposite side, the customer service workers behind the deli, there was a young black male teenager, and then there was like a middle-aged Caucasian woman. And while they're taking care of these two, I'm just observing everything. And so the young black teen was taking care of the older gentleman, and he looked a little confused, as if he couldn't find the meat that the older gentleman had wanted to purchase. And the lady helped him. She helped him. It appeared as if she didn't want to help him, but she did help him find what he needed. And he comes back to the counter and he asks the gentleman how much of the meat did he want. And so the guy was like, yeah, just give me 2/3 of a pound. And so the young black boy, he turns around and he proceeds over to the slicer and he's slicing the meat. I, out of observation, can tell that he probably wasn't too certain what 2/3 of a pound was. Again, he looked fairly new on the job. not very sure or certain of himself, and obviously needed, some assistance, some help with this process. And so he begins to slice this turkey. And as he's slicing it, he's taking the slices and putting it on the scale that's near the slicer. Well, the scale that's near the slicer is just a regular old scale with the needle and the numbers on it, versus the electronic scale that sits on top of the deli case that you and I, as customers, we see the digital weighed and we see how much the meat or whatever it is that we're purchasing is. It's displayed in front of us. And so he sliced so much of this turkey, and then he brings it over to the digital scale, and the digital scale displays that it's like a quarter pound. And the older gentleman was like, "That's not enough. That's not what I asked for. I asked for 2/3 of a pound." And so the young man, he takes it off and he goes back to the slicer and the scale that's back there. And the woman goes over, and I'm not quite sure what she said to him, but she said something to him. But he still appeared a little confused, a little uncertain of himself. Um, and then while he begins to slice additional meat for this guy, the elderly man, or older man, I should say, he turns and looks at me and gives me like this smirk, like, like I got him. And I just look at him like he's crazy. Like, are you serious? Like, I'm not about to laugh with you. And so from there, while waiting my turn, there was another young black male that was working at the bakery that is right next to the deli. And so he was in front of the deli case, kind of off to the side, just stocking, prepackaged items in the bakery area. And some people walked up and needed some help. And they just start saying, "Hey, is anybody working over here? Like, who's taking care of people at the bakery?" And so the woman, the Caucasian woman that's working at the deli, she yells out to the guy that's stocking stuff in the bakery area, and he's just looking like, "Why did you have to call me like that?" Like, he appeared new as well. I had to bring him in because that coincides with the end result of this story. And so I'm still at the deli waiting. The young man that's slicing the turkey, he continues to slices the turkey. I can tell that he's just like, "You know what? I'm gonna stop here. I'm not sure if it's 2/3, but I hope it is." And so he brings it over to the electronic scale, and it was on the nose. It was perfect. Okay. He finishes taking care of that guy. The lady ends up taking care of me. I continue on my way with my shopping. As I'm heading up to the registers, I realize I need to come back around that way because I forgot something. And when I was going back over to that area, the two young black men were talking to each other. And I walked past them, and I got maybe about 8 to 10 feet away from them. And I just felt so convicted that I was supposed to go back and say something to them. And so I backed up and kind of like parked my cart, and there was some space between the two of them. And so when I started walking towards them, I said, I said, "Excuse me, I want to say something to you guys, but I want to come in between the two of you so that you can both hear what I'm saying." And I said, "I don't want you to think I'm crazy or anything, but I stood there and I observed, I watched, and I listened. And I want to tell you something. I observed that you two are fairly new in your job. It's obvious. I can see it. But what I want you to do, and what I kept hearing while I was standing in front of that deli, was use your voice. Use your voice. Use your voice." And though I was hearing that, I knew it wasn't my place or position to interject myself into or create anything with the older gentleman that you were waiting on. Um, no one will ever get that out of me. But what I do believe I was supposed to do was have this opportunity right here to speak to both of you. You're young. You're trying to do what's right. I don't have to know your lifestyle to know that you had the wherewithal to come and apply for a job and get a job. And you're here, you're present. But while you're here, use your voice. Don't be afraid to use your voice. If you need help, ask for help. If they have not answered your questions to the point that you understand it, ask again. If they don't want to help you, go and find and ask someone else. If it's your superior, I don't care who it is. When you are hired on a job, they are obligated to train you. They are obligated to ensure that you know what you're doing. And you have to use your voice to ensure that you are getting the help that you need. I said, because the reality of it is this: not all, but many white people out here are still waiting, looking, and expecting you to fail. Like that gentleman who asked you to slice him 2/3 pound of the turkey breast. He knew, or he hoped, that you would not know exactly what 2/3 of a pound was. And so when you came back and did not have the right amount, he took that as an opportunity to point his finger, in a sense, and say, "You were wrong. That's not what I asked for." And it was a moment that I'm sure that you felt embarrassed because you are new to this job and you don't know exactly what you are doing. You may or may not understand the measurements. You may or may not understand fully how to utilize the scale that you have to slice on versus putting something on the electronic scale. And so I looked at both of them. I said, keep striving, keep pushing to do the right thing. Do the right thing, but in doing the right thing, use your voice. You have the right to use your voice. You have the right to ask questions. Don't ever allow anyone to make you feel like you're bothering them, or that you're supposed to know. You don't know what you have not been taught. Use your voice to ask for the help you need. And so I thought that was real interesting that I experienced that last night. And then this morning I was reading this devotional where it says, "Please interrupt me." And I correlated it to myself as being interrupted in my shopping experience. When I walked past them, I really wanted to keep going so I can get out the store and go home, but I knew I had to interrupt my time and my plan to speak life into these two young men. And so with that, I say, I hope someone gets something out of this video. I pray that something here resonates with you. And I also pray that for every person who observes a situation like this, that you allow your day, allow your time to be interrupted just for a few short minutes so that you can speak life, so that you can guide, that you can course correct, encourage, and uplift that person who may need that in that moment. And with that, I am Davita Michelle. Don't forget to like and subscribe to this channel, like this video. Also, you see in my the upper left hand corner of this video, I think it is, I'm getting used to this, you guys, a little logo there that says "Dear Future Husband." That is my recently released journal, 30-day journal, a journey for her and a gift for him. Go to my website, davitamichelle.com, and check it out and get your copy today. Men want to receive it. Women, you need to take the journey. Follow me on all social media platforms. I'm on Clubhouse, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and of course now here on YouTube, Davita Michelle. I appreciate your time and patience for hearing my story and my experience. Go and be great and encourage somebody today. Love, peace, and light to you all. I'll see you next time. It was titled, "Please Interrupt Me."